if there was any question before now, there's no more questions. Joe Biden, unless the election in November makes a complete ass out of me and proves me wrong, has not the slightest chance of defeating Donald Trump. None. Okay? Let's just go over the reasons why. I'm going to try to make this video short and sweet. Okay? So first of all, you've got a guy, and I've been saying it for quite some time now, clearly has cognitive decline, looks to possibly even have dementia, okay? Who thinks that's going to get over with people very well when the guy can't make complete sentences? I'm not going to splice in clips of this video. The clips have been circulating all around Twitter, social media, other YouTube channels have shown them on their videos, where he's, saying that we have to take care of the cure, because of course that will make things much worse. Okay? The guy can't get a coherent sentence out of his mouth, basically. How's that going to debate Donald Trump on a debate stage? Then let's look at the policy. He's a Hillary Clinton when it comes to policies. How well did that work out? Okay? So take in the fact that he's clearly not there mentally. His policies are Republican light, okay? And he's not going to draw out the young vote. So a lot of, starry-eyed, fairy tale believing people think that he's going to go with a Bernie Sanders or a Tulsi Gabbard VP nomination. And if he were to do it, okay, and I'll say this again, if he were to do that, it's as simple as this, folks. Should he take that path and make them the VP, it's only to gain the votes. But you can rest assured they will never see one day in the presidency. Now, people speculate, oh, well, look at his health. He's not going to be around that much longer. First of all, you can live quite a while with dementia. No guarantee he's going to die. Okay? So stop promoting that sort of, hypothesis, because you've got no evidence he's that close to a deathbed. Yes, he can't get coherent sentences out of his mouth. There's people that's lived for years that way. Okay? Of course, there could get to the point where he's just not able to continue as the president. That's always possible. Okay? But nonetheless, all right, we've got something going on here with him. But if something were to happen with Joe Biden and it would then go to the VP, I wouldn't be the slightest bit surprised if he nominated that kind of a VP if they got a ride through Dallas. I'm just saying. The powers that be are not going to casually go along with people, taking over their cash cow. Okay, that's why they've rigged these primaries twice in a row. Okay? So, but that being said, again, I don't see him nominating either one of those people as his VP, simply because the powers that be would much rather let Donald Trump win, again, because while it might not be exactly what they want, they're getting more of what they want than they would be with one of those people. So they're just, okay, whatever. We're not letting them get in. And we might not win, but we'll just have to take that loss because this is an even greater loss to us. That's what's going to happen. Okay? That being said, there is now another reason why Joe Biden has a snowball's chance in hell of surviving against Donald Trump. And that would be because Joe Biden has now been accused of sexually assaulting a woman. Tara Reid, I believe is the lady's name. So apparently she worked for Joe Biden back in the early 90s. And now the mainstream media is trying to attack her by saying, well, why now? Why now? Why now? Why now? Well, doesn't that just sound extremely familiar? Because you see, when there were women coming out and accusing men on the right wing of things like that, when they came out and accused Kavanaugh, when they came out and the whole thing about, the whole Donald Trump tape came out, right? How outraged was the left? Oh my God, these lascivious pigs. But now, dear old Joe Biden has been accused, and oh my God, this woman's despicable. It's politically motivated. You're coming out right now, right before he's about to get the nomination. You just want to divide our country. You want to tear us apart. Joe Biden, this is Joe Biden. He's everyone's lovable grandpa. How could you do this? You want to hurt the country. What is wrong with you, woman? And they're full of shit. Now, I don't know if the story's true or not, but it really, I'm not going to say it doesn't matter, because it does matter. But it is the outrage that all these people seem to be giving, if they're even going to mention it at all, to say that, oh, well, she's politically motivated. Well, how do you know? How do you know? How do you know all these other people you didn't defend tooth and nail weren't politically motivated? Remember, how many of them have tried to come out and accuse someone into politics? How do you know? You are the people that have been telling everyone else this entire time. Time's up. Time's up now. We'll get into that one in just a minute. Remember those words, folks. Time's up now. Okay? These evil men. We're tired of you having all the power and manipulating women, all because you have such sexual desires that you think you can use your power to force this upon a woman. How dare you? Okay, and I agree with you. That is very despicable. And you've been telling us that when these women come out and voice their stories, they should not be criticized, they should not be argued against, that their story should be taken basically as the Sermon on the Mount, and that everyone should believe it. Now, if you're going to say that because women were coming out and attacking one side of the political aisle, well, what in the living hell does it make you look like when another woman comes out and attacks this particular guy on this side of the aisle? Oh, and by the way, is it the only case of a Democrat being accused of that? Has anybody ever heard of John Conyers? So no, he's not the first one on the left to be accused of this. Let's see, Bill Clinton, John Conyers, Joe Biden, and what do they all have in common minus John Conyers? They're a bunch of old guys. They're not younger men. They're old guys. For crying out loud, and I'm not making a defense, look at the time period that the majority of them came from. JFK, okay, who is a man that I respect very much as a president, was well known for being quite the playboy back in his day. Unfortunately, the time period that a lot of these older guys came from, women were not as highly respected. And at the end of the day, men ran around and it was, is what it is. 60s and the 70s were pretty much, excuse my language, they were pretty much a fuck fest. And that's not, again, no defense for what's taking place here. But the point I'm getting at is, to say this kind of thing isn't believable is bullshit. Because it is very believable that this is possible, especially when you consider that the particular guy getting accused of this right now, for crying out loud, sniffs the frickin' youth out of children, basically. This guy walks around rubbing women's shoulders and trying to kiss little girls and sniff their hair and putting his hand down here on their waist. I mean, I've shown you the videos. Oh, and by the way, he loves kids in his lap. So this isn't believable. Of course it is. Now, does that mean there's complete evidence that it's true? No. But it should most certainly be taken as just as credible of an accusation as any of the rest of these we've had come out between then and now. Oh, and by the way, how could I forget? There was one more guy that got accused of this on the left. Al Franken, ring any bells? So for all you lefty people out there who are so determined to hold people on the right accountable, but yet you're so defensive when anyone from your side of the aisle gets accused, you don't think that that's ammunition that someone like Donald Trump is going to use? You look hypocritical. You look hypocritical. You can't say that every accusation that comes against a Republican is the gospel truth, but everything that comes against the Democrats is politically motivated. Especially when you've got a guy like Joe Biden, well known for being far too touchy, grabby, and perky with people. Okay? He's way too touchy and invades personal space way too much. And again, this is not clear evidence that can necessarily win a court case that it's true, but it is evidence that it should be at least taken just as credible as anything else that has come out within the last few years. It should be looked into and it should be taken seriously. And so this lady, but here's the thing. They tried to say, well, why come out now? Why come out now? Here's the thing. She did not try to come out just now. She tried coming out when some other people had accused Joe Biden of making them feel uncomfortable. But her story was giving not the time of day. And so then what did she try to do? Remember I said I was coming back. She went to a group, Time's Up Now. And this group is a non-profit organization supposed to help people get in touch with attorneys to get their case out. And from what I've gathered about this group, they've been kind of involved in getting a lot of these, stories of the male chauvinists mistreating the women, sexually assaulting women, raping women, all the things we've been getting out in the Me Too movement, okay? They've been kind of on the front lines of that, kind of helping get the story out there, right? So she goes to this group, and what is their response? Oh, well, we can't help you because he's running for political office, and so that could jeopardize our nonprofit status. Pardon? Really now? So if you are really this group concerned about getting a woman's story out there, why aren't you doing it? You mean to tell me that your nonprofit status means more than exposing the truth your whole organization was based around? I mean, for God's sakes, I would think that the more powerful the asshole is, the more reason we should have this out there, right? You would, okay, if Joe Blow in the alley sexually assaulted some woman, he should go to jail. But he ain't going to be the leader of the country. This guy, even though he is not going to win, in my opinion, this guy is about to be running for president of the United States. And everyone made the case that, oh, Donald Trump, oh, no, listen to this. No. No man that does these things should ever be elected president. That was a big case made against Trump, right? So why is it not being the case for Joe Biden? Why is it that a guy that can't complete sentences, can't remember things, can't talk, okay, that's part of the complete sentences, and has been accused of doing something you all tried to get the outrage over Donald Trump about, how come that? Oh, no, he gets a pass on every single bit of that. By the way, for all the people still trying to defend Tulsi Gabbard to me, let me know when she has something to say about this. I'm waiting. You can get in touch with me another time and just let me know, because I'll be waiting. Nonetheless, Time's Up Now refused to help. Oh, and by the way, Joe Biden's campaign has ties to that organization. You really think it's a coincidence they won't help this lady? I don't. I think the writing's on the wall. Joe Biden is part of the elite inner crowd that gets protected against all costs. If this had been Donald Trump, Bernie Sanders, or anyone else that the media doesn't kiss the ass of, this would have been a completely different outcome, no matter how credible the story was. They could have said that Donald Trump put them on a rocket ship, took them to Pluto, and beat them with a stick. And be like, this man's not fit to be president. How could he ever do such a thing? He should never be elected president again. How dare he? Doesn't matter what the claim would have been. They would have treated it like the gospel truth. But now, because it's dear old Joe, oh no, we can't acknowledge it. We can't look into it. This is politically motivated. BS to defend good old Joe. And you think that is not going to set in the average person's mind, that they can't see, that people on the right aren't going to look at it and say, look how hypocritical that is. You think young voters hearing about this are going to be persuaded to come out and vote for Joe Biden now, even if you nominate Bernie or Tulsi? Because I'd be willing to wager that now that this thing has come out, if he nominates either one of them, they're probably going to say, why would you take the nomination? Why would you work? One, he doesn't represent your policy, so you're not going to get that. And I realize this has not become a short video, unfortunately. But, he doesn't represent your policy at all. And he's being accused of these things, especially if it's Tulsi now, because for God's sake, she's a woman. So if she takes that appointment to promote aloha or whatever, as all you people try to defend against, things I've said recently, that she's making a sacrifice for the greater good. How, really? This is just another reason why associating with Joe Biden right now is going to do nothing but hurt Tulsi Gabbard in the long run. And again, I don't think it's going to happen anyway. I'm just making that case for all of you out there. Nonetheless, no matter who he nominates, he could nominate Amy Klobuchar, Stacey Abrams, Elizabeth Warren. It doesn't matter. If it's a woman, they're going to attack that woman saying, why would you work with this guy? And look what was just claimed against him. That's what the right's going to say. And it's going to convince a lot of independents and a lot of younger voters. And they're not going to be very enthused to come out and vote for Joe Biden for multiple reasons. And guess what Donald Trump is going to do with every single one of those? He's going to hop on stage and he's going to beat Joe Biden with the club of attacks. He has a big club of attacks right now, and he's going to use it to pummel Joe Biden on the debate stage. And you can best believe that that is going to be at the forefront of it. You can best believe that it will. Joe Biden is not going to win in November. And the quicker everyone realizes that the Democrat Party has screwed their base again to put a nominee up against Donald Trump that is going to get absolutely squashed in November, the better you can start realizing it's time for some serious change and to stop trying to reform a organization filled with too many corrupt, powerful people that are not going to let that organization change. It's time you have to build an alternative to that organization. Face it, Trump's train is about to plow right through the Biden bus in November.